Joining me live in the Headlines Today studio for more on what happened today and what can be expected in the days ahead, I have with us Janata Party Chief Subramanian Swamy. He's been credited widely with being the man behind the motivation behind the 2G scam investigation and process and all the information that's been coming out. Subramanian Swamy has tirelessly been bringing out a lot of information and allegations against the highest powers in the country. We also have with us Sushil Kumar. He's counsel for A. Raja, the prime accused in the 2G scam case. He's with us as well. We also have Ranjit Kumar. He's lawyer. He's counsel for the Anil Dhirubhai Ambani group, whose executives also face charges in the trial. And we have Gopal Jain. He's a senior Supreme Court lawyer, and he has commented many times on this particular case, which he tracks extremely closely. We'll be joined very shortly by senior journalist Paranjoy Guha Thakota as well for his analysis. I'd like to begin with Sushil Kumar. He's counsel for A. Raja. Mr. Kumar, tell us about what happened today. There was a plea from your client which was dismissed. Was that starting the case for the setbacks?
No, there is no setback, because after the examination of the first witness, we requested the court that since the investigation is still going on, we will cross-examine this witness later on. He said no. That's all.
Why did he not want to cross-examine them now?
Me?
Mr. Raja.
Because if the charge sheet is filed now, it will be against me only, because I have issued all the licenses. There's a charge sheet coming up against Loop. 21 licenses were issued by me. Loop is supposed to be a front company for SR. The whole process will be repeated, and I don't want to disclose my defense today unless I have the full information, all the statements which are required to be given to me under Section 242 of the CRPC.
Okay, I want to get a word in also from Ranjit Kumar. He's counsel for the Anil Dhirubhai Ambani group, several of whose executives do face charges in the 2G scam. Mr. Kumar, just give us a sense of what happened in court today. How did things go for your clients?
No,
they were among the first to be questioned.
Sorry, Shiv, I have not appeared in the trial court at all. And barring at the initial stage when they were taken into custody, I have never gone to Patiala House courts. So I have been representing them. Otherwise, I went to the High Court and Supreme Court with reference to their bail matter. But I have not been there at the trial myself, so it's very difficult for me to say what has happened today in the court today.
Okay, understood. I'll come back to you in just a minute, Mr. Kumar. I want to put a question to Subramanian Swamy now.
Yes.
Sir, you've obviously been watching really closely what's been happening all this while. I don't need to tell you about what happened in court today.
Yeah.
What's your assessment of what happened in court today? What happened with A. Raja? How do you see things going?
Well, I'm very happy about one thing, that this is perhaps the fastest fastest conduct of reaching the stage where we are having a trial. And the trial process itself, the examination of witnesses should be ending in January. I won't be surprised that if by the autumn we would be having even the judgment of the court. So I mean, it's something to celebrate for democracy. Leave aside whether who's guilty, who's not guilty. I'm not going to that question. Second thing is that for me, this is an extremely important development, what is happening, because I have a parallel prosecution going on.
Yeah.
So if I find a lot of evidence comes in through the witnesses, then those who have been left out as accused in the CBI case, I'll bring them in my case.
So it'll actually be useful for your parallel case.
For me, it's a kind of a fail-safe.
Yeah.
That because the CBI has been shown in at least one or two matters as being under pressure, not to prosecute some people. So that part I will be able to do. So I think today it went off very smoothly, and I mean, I appreciate the concern that is shown that this matter should be as quickly as possible concluded.
All right. So Subramanian Swamy, the man widely considered to be the force behind all the information that's been coming out as far as the 2G case is concerned, says it was a smooth start. He's confident that things will go really well. I want to put a question, Paranjoy, I'm just going to come to you in a moment. I just want to put a quick question to Gopal Jain. He also joins us. Gopal, you written a column some time ago, and you ended that column by saying that A. Raja has to keep his tryst with destiny. With everything that's been happening and what happened today, are you confident that that's going to happen?
Well, I think today is like the first day of a match of a long test series. So the fact that, the trial has started, a day that which everyone was looking forward to, that the trial must start, has happened. But now I think we should wait and see what happens in the course of trial and not have a rush for judgment.
Dhananjay, what are your concerns? Is there anything? Subramanian Swamy says he's happy with what happened today. Things have gone smoothly. Let me into your thoughts. What concerns you now could be potential problems as the trial expands now?
To me, the sidelights have also become very, very important. As Gopal Jain rightly pointed out, this is just the beginning. As Mr. Subramanian Swamy has pointed out, what we are seeing for the first time in independent India, we see an important minister. Until as recently as late 2010, maybe even early 2011, people thought he'd get away.
Yeah.
He's been behind bars from the 2nd of February. It's very, very significant.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with the Controller and Auditor General or not is another story, but the fact is, even if you go by the so-called notional loss, the highest estimate of the Controller and Auditor General of India, you're talking about a figure which is close to $40 billion. This qualifies as one of the biggest scams. Why in India and the whole, anywhere in the world? And on the other side, you also have Minister Kapil Sibal saying no loss. Now that's very, very amazing, And what I found today was 2 points I just want to highlight. The fact that the Assistant Vice President of Reliance Capital, I hope I've got his designation correct, Mr. Anand Subramaniam, saying he did not recollect under whose instructions he had signed a letter allegedly opening a bank account in favor of Swan Telecom. It's okay. We know that, statements that are made before police, or in this case, the CBI. CBI is the police, the CBI is the police investigating agency.
Convenient.
You can retract those statements. But the point is, it's also a certain indication.
Yeah.
And also I thought it was very significant that even if some of the lawyers were complaining about how the courtroom was very stuffy and warm and air conditioning was not good enough, it didn't prevent Mr. Raja from dozing off on at least 2 occasions.
On 2 occasions.
And what's interesting, I think Mr. Raja is perhaps waiting for what will happen in the coming days and the coming weeks, and he surely is going to say, if there was no loss, why am I in jail?
Yeah.
And in the past too, he's been asking for the names of some important people, including former Home Minister, current Home Minister, former Finance Minister, his involvement. These are big issues that I think in the coming weeks and months we're going to see a lot of action.
Mr. Kumar, that's been one of the things that has been speculated for a long time, that Mr. Raja is just one among many people who have to be involved. It can't have been him alone. As his lawyer, what can you tell us? Give us some insight into what the strategy is going to be. Are we going to see more names coming out now?
There are a lot of papers which are seized by the CBI, not even produced in court. Mr. Subramaniam has been arguing in Supreme Court that somebody should be added as an accused or at least investigated. Now, if that is based on some material which is available on the files,
maybe Mr. Subramanian Swamy has some of those papers. Yes, he told us. The court has directed the CBI to hand over
Mr. Swamy, when are those names going to come out? I think the nation is tired of hearing about just Kanimozhi and Mr. Raja.
Well, I'm a private individual. I can go one at a time, but certainly Mr. Chidambaram is my focus just now.
So what's your next step going to be?
The court has directed, as he very correctly pointed out, and I think he pointed out earlier also in the court, that there are so many files which have not seen the light of day. Now, I was surprised to see that one of the important files on share dilution, which is crucial for the Prevention of Corruption Act to be brought into operation, that although the CBI has given a list in which that is being included, but they kept it in their custody and not in the court's custody.
Yeah.
And I had to get a court order therefore yesterday to the CBI to give me that file, and that file 3 days have gone, they've still not given. Now they say they'll give it to me on Tuesday.
Right.
What are they hiding? So I think this whole thing is going to explode in a very big way.
Ranjit Kumar, one of the things that has stood out about the 2G case is the high-profile corporate names that figure in the list of the people who've been charged. reputations are potentially besmirched. Maybe they will as the trial actually progresses. As counsel to the Anil Dhirubhai Ambani group, how do you feel about that? Give us a sense of how the group is taking it.
Well, 2G as a matter of policy was not to be given to any small person. You see, the 2G is to be given to a company which is an established company and who can apply for a license and who can, go about it business for it. So it had to be somebody who had to be of high profile companies. It could not be small companies or small businessmen who would be doing this work of providing 2G or providing telephony service or mobile service. So to think that there would have been somebody smaller is something which is not correct. But in any case, I don't say that Reliance has done anything wrong. Okay. There is no question of their doing anything wrong.
Gopal Jain, do you believe that we're going to see a lot more names coming out right now over and above the names that we've seen associated with the scam so far?
Well, I mean, that is obviously a likely possibility, and as Mr. Swamy said, once he gets the file and he's also pursuing it quite independently, the Supreme Court is also monitoring it. So there is every likelihood. But I think we shouldn't speculate on these things because now that the trial has started, things are moving in the right direction. We should wait for things to happen in the correct legal course rather than just speculate on this.
Absolutely. We're going to be watching this trial extremely closely. Paranjoy, give us a perspective from your sources within the establishment, within the government.
How no sources left in the establishment?
What are your sources? What are your contacts telling you about how the UPA, the government, the cabinet, how are they taking things? What is their assessment of the way things are going on?
Well, they are on the defensive.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
They've been for a while.
They have been on for a long time. The entire argument that we gave this spectrum at a ridiculously low price. Why? Because it was akin to subsidy. It was akin to a subsidy on fertilizer, subsidy on kerosene. The point is the facts tell a completely different story. In 2001, when there were 4 million mobile phones in this country, auctions took place.
Yeah.
In January 2008, when there were close to 250 million mobile phones in the country, there were no auctions.
Right.
In 2010, when there were 3G auctions and there were 650 million phones, auctions were fine.
Yeah.
How do you explain this flip-flop?
Yeah.
The whole logic.
It's completely inconsistent. Yeah.
How the whole logic that if we had auctions or if there was some system of market discovery of this resource, which at the end of the day belongs to the people of this country, it's a scarce resource, it's a national resource. It was misallocated. Yeah. That's the procedure part of it.
Okay.
But the policy part of it, you're trying to split hairs. You're trying to differentiate policy and procedure when your policy itself resulted in a huge loss to the exchequer.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll give the last word to Mr. Swamy.
That's why this share dilution file which the court has ordered to give it to me is crucial. Because if you're really saying that you're giving the spectrum cheap so that they can give the services cheap, then you allow them to sell it at 8 times the price they paid the government of India.
Right. That's
which the government of India itself could have purchased.
Right.
Sold it at 8 times. So in fact you allowed private parties to make the profit. They auctioned their license. That is the key thing, and that's where the big names will come out.
Okay, so there are technicalities, there are flip-flops, there are inconsistencies, and like Gopal Jain and all my guests here agree, this is just day one of what is going to be a long test match. We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. The court is seized of the matter. The trial is in progress. Many agree that it was a smooth start. There were some setbacks for some of the people who were questioned, but this is only just day one. I'd like to thank all of my guests today for giving us their insights into how things are actually going to turn out. And like Paranjoy was saying, this is possibly one of the biggest scams, not just in India, but perhaps in the entire world. We'll be watching it very closely. Thanks for watching this discussion.